here. So
Wow.
yeah, but we are practicing social distancing, and I'm the only one who's not wearing mask. Actually, everybody's wearing masks.
But you're like 2 meters away from the others, right?
What is the situation in Indonesia with the virus then?
Situation right now. Hi, Philip. I didn't know you
Hi.
were coming. Sorry. Situation right now. We're lockdown.
Say that again, sorry.
I'm
Like, are the shops open, for instance? Are your restaurants open?
that this is similar to the US, whereby local governments have a lot of their own regulations. So our governor in Jakarta just, I think they just published the new regulations in which malls cannot open until late. They have to close at 7, and then the exceptions will be on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and on the 31st of December for cruise ship. I think
Sorry.
until 9 p.m. Generally speaking, I think restaurants can still open, bars can still open, but limited at 50%, transit we've been back and forth, similar to London.
Sorry.
Open up and lock down and back and forth.
We are struggling to hear you, Juanita. There's a lot of noise. Is it just me, Anita, or is it everybody?
Yeah, it's like echo.
Yes, it's like echoing in the back.
Big echo and somebody else is talking, right?
Yeah, like your voice is like repeating. Yeah.
And there's a man talking. Can you hear the man?
I think the man talking is her surrounding, like.
Hello. Hi. Tanya, hi. Nice meeting you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you for doing this because last time I only met with Gita.
Yeah, I had a client meeting which is a bit postponed before, so I couldn't make it before.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So
Where are you now, actually?
just testing. No, live.
Kayaknya enggak deh.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
You're outside. That's nice. Is it a nice
No,
day?
it's actually I'm on my roof. I have a greenhouse on my roof because my kids was having like a tutoring session downstairs and it's really loud. So I climb upstairs, make it more less noises. But it's always bright days every day here in Jakarta.
Yeah, it's quite windy. It looks very nice. Where is it?
On my
Part
roof.
of-
I set up a greenhouse on my rooftop.
Oh, very nice.
But sometimes it here like
Yeah, it's very windy today.
yeah.
You like plants, yeah?
Yeah, the result of work from home for 10 months.
Yeah. You can take care of your plants, yeah. Yeah. Now gardening is really become a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, especially in the pandemic
yeah,
situation.
yeah. To kill time. Yeah, yeah, to kill time.
Yeah.
Um, I think my internet is a bit unstable. Let me reconnect.
This one okay, but like a few minutes ago, you're like freeze.
Yeah, that's my mate. Right. Okay. Thank you. I'm trying to have like is it clear now?
It is, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Yeah,
clear.
it's a bit unstable.
Hmm.
It's a bit unstable, so I'm trying to connect with
Uh,
other network. Wait.
it's okay. I think just the visual a bit lagging.
Uh,
Tanahnya kan.
So we're trying to fix the speaker for both on my side. So I hope it's better. So we have 3 production team working, and yeah. So let's start soon, and I think we will have some videos and want to start with. Video bisa bilang.
Jangan sampai ada waktu terbuang saat mengatur uang. Bayangin kalau kita bisa intip saldo tanpa harus login tanpa ngetik, akun di satu layar, kirim uang ke nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja, buka tabungan, kartu kredit dan pinjaman, transfer dan kirim resi, gak pakai lama, cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan, sampai ada waktu dengan Permata Mobile X, ratusan fitur dalam satu aplikasi untuk Indonesia tanpa status. Jangan sampai ada intip saldo saat kita bisa tanpa harus intip saldo kita bisa login tanpa ngetik, intip saldo tanpa harus login, kirim uang tanpa ngetik, transaksi reksadana semua dikirim ke layar nomor handphone, kirim uang transaksi reksadana transaksi reksadana obligasi siapa kapan cek kredit sampai jatuhkan transfer pinjaman berapa mobile resi berapa fitur aplikasi Indonesia dengan Permata Mobile Indonesia aplikasi untuk Indonesia tanpa sampai intip saldo login tanpa ngetik, intip tanpa harus login, kirim login tanpa ngetik, intip reksadana semua dikirim ke layar nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana obligasi siapa layar sampai 12 dengan Permata Mobile ratusan fitur aplikasi Indonesia untuk Indonesia untuk Indonesia login tanpa ngetik, intip tanpa harus login, kirim login tanpa ngetik, intip reksadana semua dikirim ke layar
toiletries dilengkapi bahan hypoallergenic, 4% coloring agent, dan pH balance. Beijing Baby Toiletries dilengkapi bahan hypoallergenic, 4% coloring agent, dan bahan hypoallergenic, 4% coloring agent,
Jam segini masih sepi aja, Ma.
Zaman lagi susah, semoga keadaan cepat membaik ya.
Ambil rumah dulu ya,
Silakan Mas. Mas, ini ada jas hujan. Oke aja.
Mamaku percaya
Udah nggak apa-apa.
dalam situasi sesulit apapun,
Ya kurang Ci. Udah biarin gua aja.
harapan lahir dari setiap kebaikan kita.
Yang ditunggu, kesukaan Mama.
Berbagi harapan, arti dari kekayaan yang sejati. Baru Fish Prosperity Burger hanya di McDonald's.
Jam segini masih sepi aja, Ma.
Zaman lagi susah, semoga keadaan cepat membaik ya.
Ambil rumah dulu ya.
Silakan Mas. Mas, ini ada jas hujan. Oke aja.
Mamaku percaya
Udah nggak apa-apa.
dalam situasi sesulit apapun,
Kurang Ci. Udah biarin gua aja.
harapan lahir dari setiap kebaikan kita.
Yang ditunggu, kesukaan Mama.
Berbagi harapan, arti dari kekayaan yang sejati. Baru Fish Prosperity Burger hanya di McDonald's.
Jam segini masih sepi aja, Ma.
Zaman lagi susah, semoga keadaan cepat membaik ya. Silakan Mas. Ini ada jas hujan. Ya.
Mamaku percaya
Udah nggak apa-apa.
dalam situasi sesulit apapun, harapan lahir dari setiap kebaikan kita.
Kesukaan Mama.
Berbagi harapan, arti dari kekayaan yang sejati. Baru Fish Prosperity Burger hanya di
Jam segini masih sepi aja, Ma.
Zaman lagi susah, semoga keadaan cepat membaik ya. Silakan Mas. Ini ada jas hujan. Ya.
Mamaku percaya
Udah nggak apa-apa.
dalam situasi sesulit apapun,
Saat keaslian sudah sulit ditemukan, masih ada yang dengan setia menjaganya. Teh asli Indonesia, diramu dengan gula murni
Semoga keadaan cepat membaik.
dan aroma melati. Terus menginspirasi untuk sebarkan kebaikan melalui kebersamaan. Saat keaslian sudah sulit ditemu kebaikan dan keaslian dalam kesegaran. Teh berproses dengan setia menjaganya. Teh asli Indonesia, diramu dengan gula murni
Semoga keadaan cepat
menginspirasi untuk sebarkan kebaikan melalui kebersamaan. Saat keaslian sudah sulit, kebaikan dan keaslian dalam kesegaran tak bersosial dengan setia menjaganya. Teh asli Indonesia diramu dengan gula murni,
Country Choice, so natural, so juicy.
terus menginspirasi untuk sebarkan kebaikan melalui kebersamaan. Saat keaslian sudah sulit, kebaikan dan keaslian dalam kesegaran tak bersosial dengan setia menjaganya. Teh asli Indonesia diramu dengan gula murni,
Country Choice, so natural, so juicy.
terus menginspirasi untuk sebarkan kebaikan melalui kebersamaan. Saat keaslian serta sulit, kebaikan dan keaslian dalam kesegaran tak bersosial dengan setia menjaganya.
Klik di browser Anda www.mediaindonesia.com dan temukan pandangan berbeda karena fakta bisa sama atau sudut pandang boleh beda. Mediaindonesia.com
Indonesia MU diramu dengan gula murni,
Country Choice, so natural, so juicy.
terus menginspirasi untuk sebarkan kebaikan melalui
Mediaindonesia.com hadirkan cerdas serta sulit, kebaikan dan keaslian pada segaran
tak bersosial dengan menjaganya.
Klik di browser Anda www.mediaindonesia.com dan temukan pandangan berbeda karena fakta bisa sama atau sudut pandang boleh beda.
The power of understanding. GCN Group.
Selamat sore, Lead Friends. Selamat datang di Masterclass Leading Women in Creative Industry in Indonesia, persembahan Lead Virtual Summit 2020 bekerjasama dengan Cannes Lions. Cannes Lions telah menjadi ujung tombak dunia kreatif secara global selama lebih dari 6 dekade dan telah menyaksikan industri ini berkembang dari masa keemasan Mad Men. Wanita tidak lagi bekerja di industri sebagai pendukung atau pembuat kopi, tapi sudah menjadi pemimpin di bidang kreativitas. Talkshow sore ini ingin menyoroti perempuan Indonesia di dunia kreatif. Kita berkesempatan untuk berdiskusi langsung dengan para perempuan yang berhasil menduduki posisi teratas di TWA, Leo Burnett, dan Densumain Ads. Dipandu langsung oleh Mr. Philip Thomas, Chairman Cannes Lions yang bergabung dengan kita dari London. LIP yang diselenggarakan 17 sampai 22 Desember 2020 ini seharusnya dilaksanakan di bulan Maret. Akan tetapi karena kita pandemi, kita melakukannya di bulan ini dan secara virtual pula. LIP adalah singkatan dari Leading, Elevating, Aspiring, and Empowering, adalah perayaan pencapaian serta ajang dialog bagi wanita Indonesia untuk mengembangkan minat dan kemampuan serta wawasan untuk kehidupan yang lebih baik. We just saw lots and lots of ads. I'm so sorry for you guys who are in the industry. You have to see all of that, but maybe you can have a feel of what the Indonesians are selling at the moment. Anyway, without further ado, we are delighted to welcome Philip Thomas here in this talk. Philip is the president of Essentials Marketing Division, which comprises Cannes Lions International Festivity of Creativity, Work, and Media Link. He's also the chairman of Cannes Lions, having been the CEO of Festive Cannes. We just saw lots and lots of ads. I'm so sorry for you guys who are in the. He began his career as a journalist. You have to see all of that, but maybe you can director of H&M. Feel of launching the iconic Indonesians are selling at the moment in more than 30 countries. Without further appointed the managing director, we are delighted to welcome Philip and Southeast Asian division. Philip is the president of Essentials. He returned to UK and being appointed the CEO of Lions International Festivity of Creativity. Welcome, Philip, and thanks so much for joining us early in the morning from London. We also would like to welcome Anita Budiandi. She is the COO of Dentsu Main Ad. With industrial engineering and marketing communication education, she began her career of 20 years in advertising, in account management and strategic planning. Anita encourages her team to work on more than one president of Essentials. She returned to UK and being appointed the CEO of Lions International Festival in COVID-19 campaign. Welcome, Philip, and community called Stop, Sir. This campaign gained free airing time from TV stations and their media group. In addition, Anita supports women empowerment, which is why she's perfect for this event about in our women conference. And she also supports equality for people with disability and inclusivity. She's not strangers to Cannes Lions, as she won Lions, including as individual and as a team. Next, I would like to introduce Lucy Novita. Hi, Lucy. She's the deputy executive of Indonesia. Lucy's early dream of being a singer eventually gave way to a determination to make it in Indonesia's advertising for this 17 years. She's been working in local and multinational agencies, and she also supports equality funding people with a range of clients, including Google, McDonald's, Danone, Abbott, and Samsung. Over the years, she and her team took numerous awards, local and global advertising awards, collecting. Next, I would like to introduce the first Indonesian women to serve. Hi, Lucy, at the Cannes Lions Festival. Last but not least, we would like the deputy executive. Lucy's early dream of being a singer China eventually gave way to a senior creative director to make it in WA in Asia. She started her advertising journey in Jakarta 15 years ago. Equality funding started at a range of clients, moving on to TBWA, Ogilvy, Danone, and Samsung Indonesia. Over the years, she and worked with some of the best brands and the best numbers and she managed. I would like to introduce this Indonesian woman. Hi, Lucy. In 2014, she packed her bags and headed for a new challenge in Shanghai, China. Last but not least, we would like the deputy executive. Lucy's early dreams of being a singer eventually gave way to a senior creative director, and this year she's back home as a senior creative director. She started her advertising journey in Jakarta 15 years ago. Equality funding started at a range of clients, moving on to the floor is yours, and ladies, looking forward to hear all about your experiences as you go up the path as women leaders in creative industry.
Okay, thank you, Juanita, and hello everybody, and welcome to Anita, Tanya, and Lucy for this discussion about gender in advertising. It's great to see you, and hopefully we'll get some interesting conversation going. You know, at Cannes Lions, we recently did a piece of research, and what was very interesting was that the young people who attend the festival, if we look at the gender split under the age of 30, the gender split of people going to Cannes Lions is 50-50, right? 50-50 men and women. But if you look at over 30, it falls to only 25% women and 75% men. So clearly there is an issue around creative leadership, I suppose. And I want to get into some of the reasons why that might be. But firstly, I'd love to hear about your own experiences, about how you've got to where you've got to and some of the hurdles that you've overcome in your career. So if we could just talk to each of you in turn, and you can just give us a few minutes on how you've got to where you've got to, because your personal stories, I'm sure, will be very, very interesting. So where should we start? Let's start with Lucy from Leo Burnett. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you've got to where you've arrived in the industry.
Okay, well, as Ira has give a bit of background of myself, I was have a dream of being a singer when I was very, very young. And then I fell in love with advertising when I saw a very good ads on my television. So I was thinking, oh, it could be a good industry that I can work, like creating a very nice commercial. And then I joined. I've been around a lot of advertising agencies, mostly multinational. And along the way, what I feel that I like to kind of create a very good commercial, very good advertisement, a very good idea for my clients, for the brands. And that that kind of passion that actually brings me up to where I am now. So but when it comes to leadership, it's actually a lot of challenges that I face along the way. Especially I work in the industry where there's still a male domination around. Like I was in Hakuhodo for 12 years before. It was, a Japanese agency who's like really rare to have a female, female employee, let alone female leaders. And it's for me, it's a good challenge that I can prove that I can lead the team with even I'm a female. And I think the uniqueness of female being as the nature of nurturing, if we can use that and then put this to nurture and groom the team, in a way you can build kind of leadership that grows kind of organic, because the sense of nurturing. And I actually learned more and more of that, and through that experience then give me to where I am now actually. So
Thank
this
you.
like the nurturing sense and my passion to create a very, very good advertising for my clients.
Yes, it's interesting. You mentioned the fact that you worked for Hakuhodo, which is a Japanese agency group, of course. And Anita, I mean, that's interesting for you at Dentsu, which is, of course, the biggest Japanese network. And interestingly, Dentsu, Aegis, of course, Dentsu Global has just appointed a woman as the global CEO, Wendy Clark. How have you found working for a Japanese agency group, and what's your experience of how you got to where you got to?
Okay, thank you. I think I was introduced earlier with a bit of background that actually my education background is in industrial engineering. So it's like, it's not advertising at all, but I have passion in communication, arts. Since I was little, I was a dancer and I love math. So it's a combination between, I see myself a combination between a left brainer and a right brainer. So, and then when I pursue my master degree in marketing communication and then started to work, my first job was actually in the chemical company, but then by accidents, I joined advertising and I fall in love with it until even now. And my background was like in starting my career in account and then planning, and then all the way to where I am today as a COO. Yes, there are a lot of stereotyping about women, especially in advertising, especially like I think me and Lucy had a background working in Japanese circle company where there was also stereotyping that, you know, Japanese company mostly are male dominated. But actually, like you pointed out, Phil, that in Dentsu Global, the global CEO is also a woman. The country CEOs of Dentsu Group is also women. And I myself, you know, also woman. So yes, there is how to when I started my career, it's not easy because, like, again, my background is not advertising. But then I think being a woman, because of the stereotyping, we are sort of like pushing ourselves to go beyond, you know, the boundary. Like we really try to like explore our potential and then see whether we can go even further. So, and then another stereotyping that maybe very strong in women is women are seen very emotional and easily crack under pressure. As you move up the ladder in the career, the higher you are, you need to be able to sort of like get everything under control, you know. It comes with maturity and experience, and I think woman has that sense of somehow I just feel that woman is actually very strong in the inside. Mentally they are strong, they are not easily under pressure. Cry is, I think, universal. Male can cry as well, women can cry, but I think women, even though some people said that women can easily crack under pressure, I just believe that because of the experience and then the stereotyping that we have, so we push ourselves to work harder, that we are not easily cracked under pressure. And then the other one is, I think Lucy mentioned about the nurturing. We have this culture of, being a woman. We sort of like try to spot, especially as you move up the ladder, you're trying to groom your people, right? You're not going to be forever, in one position or forever in advertising. So you need to ladder up, grow your people, and then spot their potential and nurture them. For me, like when I see my people, their success is actually that. Then I can see that's my success. So it's those sort of like motherly, characteristic in women that we nurture people. And then another thing is also that the empathy. As a woman, somehow we have this strong empathy, not only towards the brand, the people, but the social issue or the issue around us. So in building the communication of brands, I think brands is like a person. You have to have a certain purpose, right? To have a role in a person's life or even in a bigger role in the society. So that empathy and that nurturing of the brand, having purpose in life, not only from as a personal, but also as a brand. I think that relates very closely with the characteristic of a woman.
Yeah, I think we'll come back to some of those themes because they're about the future of advertising, the future of brands. We definitely want to talk about that. But what Ira has done is she's got a great panel for us because we've got Lucy, who works for a French organization. We've got Anita, who works for a Japanese organization, and Tanya, you work for an American organization. So tell us a little bit about your experiences with Omnicom, TBWA, and your own personal journey.
Well, yeah, my personal journey, I mean, it started like 15 years ago. I've been to a few different agencies, American and then Japanese as well, I guess. And then here in Jakarta, Indonesia, and then like 7 years before I went to China, basically. So yeah, so it's like it's kind of like, I mean, there are similarities also, and also there's a big difference, definitely, how's the culture here compares to China, which it's been a roller coaster journey. There's a lot of challenge, but I've learned a lot, definitely. So I think I mean, as you know, I think there's some similarities. It's like China, as you know, it's very diverse. It's kind of like Indonesia as well. yeah, so they have like different of the minorities, every yeah, from end to end, it's all different actually, which we can learn a lot. And then yeah, what I've learned is that through this there's yeah, towards women, and also yeah, the challenge that women face in the society and also in the industry is also different. And then, but it's like growing a lot since from my experience these 7 years. So when I just start my journey when I was in Shanghai in 2013 until now, it's really going rapid. I mean, grow very fast, definitely, as we've seen. Yeah, in terms of, I think it's not just the creative industry. So you, as you saw, like in the, especially in the tech, right? In the tech industry and innovation. So I saw like, there's a lot of women in the leadership, basically. Yeah, my previous, like in the agencies there, my CEO and so like the CCO, so most of them, I think, yeah, a lot of them are women. And then I think, like you mentioned, it's like over the 30s usually, but actually they started earlier there. I think even the Gen Z, a lot of them, like they really push themselves to be in the entrepreneurship, basically spirit like that. So it's kind of, I think that's kind of like the difference that I've learned here in, I mean, China compared to other countries in Asia, probably. So I think, yeah, I mean, leading to that. So I think, yeah, we need more, I guess, more women in the leadership, basically in the agency. So I think, yeah, from the, I mean, from the looking from different perspective. For example, I mean, the client side itself, I mean, the communication that they want usually going towards like, I think you mentioned as well about, it's not a brand, right? We're not talking from the brand, but it's from, we are like position the brand as like a human, and they want to like show that the communication has to be emotional, right? You need to feel that. So I think that's the something that women can contribute more, I think, because of that, right? We are, yeah, I think you also mentioned about the empathy side. So I think yeah, we can have that, I mean, yeah, we can yeah, share more to that, yeah, that part. So I think, and also looking at the brands, a lot of them actually, the products, for example, FMCG or something, the consumers are women, mostly are women. So I think the perspective from women is also needed when we communicate in our campaigns, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. So let's it's interesting because I've done quite a lot of work in China, not so much in Indonesia, but in China. And if you go into a meeting in China and there are a number of people from a company, the likelihood is that the woman in the room will be the boss. It's really quite interesting.
Yeah,
yeah. The chances are when you walk into a room and you're looking at the people in the room, if you look at the woman, it's most likely they are going to be the boss. It's very, very interesting in China. And there are lots of reasons for that. And I'm sure, Tanya, you understand a lot of those reasons. But when it comes to Indonesia, there's also this reality that there are a lot of women in leadership positions in Indonesia. And I wonder whether you can talk a little bit about why you think that is and what the rest of the world could learn from Indonesia. So, Anita, what are your views on why that should be? I mean, there's also the fact that Indonesia is a Muslim country, and in other Muslim countries in the world, there are not so many female leaders, which makes it even more interesting. So what are your thoughts there?
I think my thought on that is because, like, I mean, it's maybe it's beyond just the religion. For me, it's more the culture and the society. In Indonesia, Indonesian women, because of the culture and society, we're sort of like allow ourselves to build the support system that makes us, be able to like allocate, because women are multitasking, right? As a person, she can be like a daughter, she can be wife, she can be, a social person, and she can also pursue her career. So in Indonesia, you can have your supporting system consists of your maid. If you have kids, maybe you can have a nanny. Uh, you can also allow to have drivers. I mean, it's like if in London, if you have driver, you have maids, then you consider like coming from like, very super rich family. And here also your family are your very support, the closest support system for you. Not only your husband and kids, but also your parents, your grandparents. They are sort of like, it's common for Indonesian, especially Indonesian. I'm considering myself as a working mother. I have two boys. So when they were very little, my parents or my mother-in-law, they're very welcome to the kids, So I always stop them before I go to work. And then during lunchtime, sometimes I stop by when I'm still breastfeeding. So the system in such a way, I think it's also going back to a person that we can allow to build this support system. That's why allowing women to also like, sort of like push ourselves and unlock the potential in other side of, in other element of her life, like for instance, in the career. By having the support system, she can also like pursue her career while in the back of their mind, the family, the kids, all taken care of. So I think that's my point of view. So, and then now also from especially for women, is also we have a lot of access to like equip ourselves to gain more knowledge, so the accessibility, the technology allow women to have equal knowledge, equal access to education, to information, equal to men. So it's just a matter of whether you want to grab it or not. And trying to like overcome that stereotyping that already still in the society. I think that's my point of view, Phil.
Yeah. And Tanya, how about you? Because you saw China, and I'm sure your experiences in China are similar to mine. There's lots and lots of female leaders, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
why is it in Indonesia there are also so many female leaders?
I think well, there's a couple of reasons. One of them, I think, there's Anita also mentioned about support, right? Education for women. There, I noticed like there's a lot of like the communities that focus only for women. For example, like me, I mean, these kind of things. So TEDx Women or something. A lot of conference for women dedicated only for women, helping women to be empowered women. So there's lots of them there. So I think that really encourage us, the women, especially in the in the corporate world. So they have basically meeting other women and then sharing together and then inspire each other, basically empower each other to be step into the later. And then also like you mentioned, we have a lot of women in the leadership, not only in the creative industry, right? I mean, in the famous one, I think one of the CEO in TT, the Chinese Uber, and then I think some also like in Alibaba or something. It's like all of them, a lot of them are women, and then they start like in in the very young age as well. So I think that really inspires. Inspires the other women there in China. So I think that's one of the reasons. I think that's what I think we can learn as well here in Indonesia. We need that this kind of communities like live as well, and to inspire each other. And then second thing, I think also the more to again, as well the culture, in China, the women, right? I think it's a culture which has been rooted since ages ago. I think the women, like the empress, one of the famous one, the daughters, I think it's also like he's been the one of the most powerful leaders in the 19th century or something, right? So I guess that kind of the spirit of like persistence, like they're hardworking and they're striving. I think even more stronger than the man sometimes. So I think that's like that's what had been taught in the family, in their family, since in very early age, basically. So
yeah. So and so Lucy, I mean, one of the other things about China is the single child policy is another reason, because if a family had a girl, if a family has lots of boys, they can think, well, the boys can become the leaders, the boys can become the doctors, the boys can become whatever. But if they have just one girl, there is a theory that that's one reason why China has so many female leaders, because the families have got the one girl and they want them to, they put all their attention on them, and that's another interesting theory. But Lucy, in terms of Indonesia, what do you think the reason is that we have so many wonderful female leaders in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think I kind of like agree with what Anita mentioned, that we have a very strong support system, that like you have save of a female who has a family, and then you have a broader, like it's not only just a nuclear family, right? Not only just husband and wife and have kids, but also there's a grandparents, and there's a cousins, and even sisters and brothers that always support us. So when we choose to have our career, in having to step up the ladder, we don't have we kind of like has less to worry, if we want to have that career. And also when you mention about Indonesia as a Muslim country, not Muslim country, we're not actually Muslim country, it's just having is a lot of Islam as a population. But culturally, actually, even though we are patriarchal, but as a man and woman is actually quite equal, like enabler and provider as well. Like for example, even since 100 years ago, when you go, the men go to the the field, like apa sih, fielding the paddy, for example. The woman is not only staying at home but also help. So it has been built since a culture in us. So when you go, you pull it into a modern society and going into the more bigger organization, then it again, the support system is there. And as a culturally, we're not as a woman, not really that suppressive. And as in historical, we also from parents and grandparents, we have this inherit that being a woman also being enabler and a provider as well. It's just back to ourselves again, whether we want to push ourselves, whether we want to go and strive to be a leader in organization, or even leader to our own organization.
Yes, that's interesting. And if we talk about the importance of female creativity and female leadership, we touched on it a little bit earlier when you were talking about the emotional and the empathetic. And what we see at Cannes Lions is a move towards brands requiring those sort of skills. What kind of arguments can you put to brands to try to ensure that at least the creative team is a balanced team? There are certainly some global brands who will not engage an agency unless the team is balanced in the gender balanced. And that's definitely of benefit to the brand. But I suppose there are some brands who still don't see that. So Tanya, when you're talking to your clients, how do you explain to them that having at least a balance is the most important thing that they can do for their creativity? What do you say to them?
I think, yeah, I guess, how do I say it to them? I mean, a lot of clients, they really believe in research, right? I mean, they want to see different approach, basically. So I think, in order to give like different approach and then perspective, yeah, we need to come from two different, right? I mean, from the male and female, make it to have a richer perspective on the brand itself. So I think, that's the one thing that I will, how I encourage the clients to, it's not really, it's not really, it's not really, it's becoming subjective if you're not, if only skewed to like all women, or it's just most of them are male. So I believe in that, the balance, like you mentioned. So in order to give like the right communication to the consumer, we need to have that, right? Like, this two perception basically.
And Anita, do you see the same thing? Do your clients ask you specifically to have female creatives, or how is the brand world looking at all of this?
There was a moment where, like, for instance, male-dominating brands like automotive or motorcycle, when I used to handle, this, my client is also like some of them like that. When we appear to them, it's just like, really, woman handling automotive, So, but actually, there is a resistance, but it's a matter of like convincing them that we actually capable of doing so. Yes, we have to work hard to like beat that, the problem of, sort of like undermining capability of women understanding in technology, for instance, technology, automotive, motorcycle. But what interesting is also like creativity is actually thinking outside of the box, right? If you like put all males in automotive industry, what if the thinking coming from different perspective, from a woman point of view, or the other way around? Like, for instance, I assign my a male team to handle sanitary napkins. Why not? It doesn't seem right because we used to say that it's not right, but when we put the people like male even to handle sanitary napkins, they have to understand what is going on inside the woman. Then the male can also have sympathy, the same as like woman needs to handle automotive or needs to handle a highly technology brand, for instance. We just have to like understand and put our heart into it and really, emerge with the brand. And then there was a theory, decision making actually made mostly by emotional. So yes, they are like, the functional side of the story where like, all this feature RTB, but at the end of the day, you move because your heart move. So you choose the brand, you stay with the brand because the emotional side. So I think there are two things. One is because of the emotion. The other one is about creativity. If you looking at thinking outside the box, if you like spin it, the coming from different point of view, since the topic is about gender, if like males, the subject of woman coming from the point of view of male, or male dominating brands or topics coming from point of view from a woman, see how rich they can be. I think that's my point of view. Phil?
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Anita. And Lucy, how about you when your Leo Burnett clients talk to you? how important is gender balance, and to Anita's point, how important is it to look at everything from a different point of view?
I think these days client is already mostly those clients, they're smarter. They're smarter, and they're kind of know the importance of having a gender balance, and they're actually encourage that. When I experienced like maybe 15 even when I first starting working in advertising, it's totally different from back then, where every brand, regardless is for women or for men or for child, mostly handled by men. So the more I work and then had the experience in this industry, and I see more and more female coming in, and it gives some sort of balance, and in a way for male as well, to give, to understand different perspective and different point of view. And then I think what we've been growing here in industry, it also affect to the client, to the brand, because I see also back then my clients mostly male. Now towards, even recently, my clients, even the decision maker, they're female, and then they understand the needs of gender balance, because they want to see a dimension on the ideas. Because even though as a creative, we need to put ourselves in every our audience shoes in order to think of ideas. At the end of the day, right, male is always male, female is always female, right? So having a balance is important, and clients will understand now that it's also important, and they actually encourage that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how we can overcome some of the challenges, and especially your advice to young women. When we look at Cannes Lions, we have two quite big challenges. The first is that we find it very hard to get women to speak on the stage. So we say to people, we want your speaker to be a woman, it must be a woman, and the response comes back, we can't find them, they don't want to speak, whatever it is. And then the other thing is that when we invite someone to be on a jury, like you have, Lucy, very rarely does anybody say no to us to be on a jury at Cannes. But the only people, really, almost exclusively, the only people who say no to us are the women. And there are probably lots and lots of complex reasons why that might be. But I think you're all nodding. I think you all understand where I'm coming from with this. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on how we can overcome some of those issues, and also your advice to young women, not only in Indonesia, but for anybody watching this, your advice from your experience about how to approach some of these things. Anita, what's your thought about? Well, firstly, why is it hard sometimes to get women to step up and do those things? And what can young women do to position themselves?
I think, again, there is a stereotyping that when males talk, they are considered to be like brave and they are hero, But when women speaks up, they consider to be like, you're talking too much, even they, extend to like, who are you, like you seems to be like you want to like, I don't know, but there is a negative side of it still. But I think my advice to the young woman that yes, the stereotype is still there, despite now it's 2020, but it goes back to like starting from ourselves. I think that the starting point is from ourselves. We know the barrier are there, whether we don't really like break it, but see your potential, believe in yourself, believe that you can do it. Basically, if you are good, then you're good regardless your gender. So believe that if you stand up there, don't think that other would judge you. Think that you are unlocking your potential. Let them know this is how good you are. It's more like that, because speaking up in front of public, the main barrier is what other people think about you. if you're like a woman, that's a big barrier. But the biggest barrier is already in the back of their mind. People are judging you. You are, like, you're not brave. You're not like the hero, but the other way around. So put that aside. Just focus on yourself. Don't like uh, don't let others' perception, sort of like influence, your confidence. I think it's more of that. And I agree in the earlier discussion, women tends to support to each other. I think if one be able to stand up and then be a good role model can be in communication in so many different industry. Look how many new women young talents rising up and then be more confident in what we're doing. And then the achievement we see now, like even young entrepreneurs are women, because that somebody has to start. And thank to whoever the first, the woman who can break that barrier is actually open up the door to so many beautiful women out there to really like stand up and then achieve their dreams like that. That's my point of view.
Yeah, that's great. We have a program at Cannes Lions that we invite a group of young women and we pay for them to come to the festival, and we put them in the hotel and we provide a mentoring program throughout the week for them. And we have many hundreds of people apply for it. And we called it, when we were trying to think of a name, we called it See It, Be It, because we believe that until you can see it, you can't be it. And which is exactly what you were just saying, Anita, in that wonderful speech you just gave us about that. That's so inspiring. And I have to say, just having you guys on this call is inspiring for young women. So Tanya, how about your thoughts on how we can get over some of these barriers and how you would inspire young women in the industry to come forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, again, like the confidence, again, I think that's one most important thing. Yeah, you've touched that part as well. So yeah, that part, like we need to build that confidence, right, for these young women. Like, so how? Then yeah, by giving examples, I guess. Yeah, I think yeah, we need to showcase that more. A lot of these examples of women leaders, right? In any sort of industries, any examples. I think yeah, even in campaigns, advertising, I think, yeah, you mentioned about stereotype as well. If you, I don't know, in advertising, if you see motorcycle, you mentioned about that, ads is mostly male. So why not we showcase, yeah, women, right? So I think advertising also play a very important role, because that's like the role model for the community, right? For the society to see, like, yeah, like you see women there as well. So I guess I think since we are all in the creative advertising industries, right? I think that's also one of the tasks, which also my personal passion as well, to really try my best to showcase that in the communication itself, in our communication, through the thinking from women also, how showing their thinking more to the communities. So I think, yeah, that's one thing. Also, yeah, the other thing, like I mentioned before, examples, this kind of communities, like support system, like you mentioned, right, to inspire each other, and then we are like helping them, empower them, these young women. One example that you mentioned for that Cannes Lions already doing it, so that's very good. So I think maybe we need to do that more in a smaller scale, maybe in our surroundings, in our communities.
Yeah. And Lucy, just to wrap up, your advice for young women and how we can ensure that there's another generation behind you coming up to lead this industry.
Yeah, I think Anita and Tanya already kind of giving a very beautiful point of view. And what I can add to that is one most important is to conquer our fear. Sometimes, I think not sometimes, most of the time, that is also what I experience. Like imagine when I was chosen, selected as a jury in Cannes Lion, I was so afraid because first I'm a woman and the second I'm an Asian. Like a woman and Asian, it's like a lot of inferiority. So what we need to do is to break that fear. It coming back from us. Like if we can break that fear, I know sometimes I feel like, oh, we have to work extra hard for that to be able to rise up, to be able to be listened to be heard, and to people to see. But we have to do that because then when we can do that, we can inspire other people, we can inspire everyone to also following the steps, because that is important for every woman now, even not only in advertising industry but also in every industry, to do that, to conquer our fear.
Well, that's a very inspiring and wonderful way to finish. Thank you so much to everybody for this conversation. I really appreciate it. I need to, Ira, would you like to, shall I hand back to you or shall I wrap up now?
Thank you so much for moderating this. This is such an amazing conversation. But to add what these ladies have been saying, I think we are kind of blessed in Indonesia, not only because we've got the support system from the family and others, but I think culturally, I mean, even in Sumatra, we have some cultures where it is matriarchal. So it's not patriarchal all around the nation. And also, it's like in Bali, women are the main provider for families most of the times. So it's not uncommon that women are the head of families. Not, of course, not all over the country, but in some places, yes. So that was also helping us to not be afraid to become leaders. Although it's been said by these fantastic ladies that sometimes the way to the top, the hurdles are actually coming from our own minds, not so much from outside. And very much happy to hear from you, Philip, about leaderships and to see in BC program or something like that. That is basically to see that it is possible for anyone, for young women, for young people to go to the top and be inspired by those amazing people who are doing amazing things globally. That's just the wrap up. I would like to thank each and every one of you, Lucy, Anita, Tanya, and of course, Philip, from waking up very early to be part of this from cold London. We are very pleased to do this and hope to inspire most, like Lucy said, not just women in creative or advertising, but women in different industries as well.
It's very important. It's the most important thing, I believe, the most important thing.
Right. Thank you. So we are doing this. This is our first women conference and it is virtual because of this is 2020. I'm just gonna wrap this thing up. Moving back to Bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih, Live Friends. Semoga ilmu hari ini bisa membantu kita untuk berubah menuju yang lebih baik. Thank you again to the panelists, to Philip, for spending time with us. Semoga acara Live Summit juga semua acara Live Summit juga bisa diikuti di social media Wanita Network, livesummit.id, on our Facebook Wanita Network, on our YouTube Wanita Network, and on our website. You have a pleasant day, Philip. And for the ladies, have a good evening.
You too.
And oh wait, we need to take a picture first. Wait.
Oh, we need to take a picture.
Screenshot. Smile. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
And for everyone.
resi nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X. Ratusan fitur dalam satu aplikasi untuk Indonesia tanpa stres. Jangan sampai ada waktu terbuang saat mengatur uang. Bayangin kalau kita bisa intip saldo tanpa harus login tanpa ngetik, lihat semua akun di satu layar, kirim uang ke nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja. Buka tabungan, kartu kredit dan pinjaman, transfer dan kirim resi nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X. Ratusan fitur dalam satu aplikasi untuk Indonesia tanpa nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X. Ratusan fitur dalam satu aplikasi untuk Indonesia tanpa stres.
Untuk hasil
jangan
yang
sampai
lebih
ada
maksimal.
waktu terbuang saat mengatur uang.
Aku
Bayangin
ingin
kalau
buku
kita
ini
bisa
bukan hanya menginspirasi anak-anak,
intip saldo tanpa
tapi
harus
juga
login
para orang tua.
tanpa ngetik, lihat semua akun di satu layar, kirim uang ke nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja. Buka tabungan, kartu kredit dan pinjaman, transfer dan kirim resi nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan
Buat
Permata
keluarga
Mobile
kami,
X. Ratusan
Raffi
fitur
itu
dalam
sarana
satu
buat
aplikasi
belajar.
untuk Indonesia tanpa nggak pakai lama. Cek
Khususnya
mutasi
belajar
sampai 12
ketika
bulan
karya adalah
bisa
penggalan
dengan
pemuda
Permata
yang
Mobile
bijak.
X. Ratusan
Kadang
fitur dalam
berbagi.
satu
Mama
aplikasi
ngajarin
untuk
saya
Indonesia
bagaimana
tanpa
mendapat
stres.
inspirasi untuk hasil
Jangan
yang
sampai
lebih
ada
maksimal,
waktu terbuang
agar tetap
saat
bermanfaat.
mengatur uang.
Dan bagi saya, aku
Bayangin
ingin
kalau
buku
kita
ini
bisa
bukan cuma inspirasi anak-anak,
intip saldo
tapi
tanpa harus
juga
login,
para orang tua.
tanpa ngetik, lihat semua akun di satu layar, kirim uang ke nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja. Buka tabungan, kartu kredit dan pinjaman, transfer dan kirim resi nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan
Buat
Permata
keluarga
Mobile
kami,
X. Ratusan
Raffi
fitur
itu
dalam
sarana
satu
buat
aplikasi
belajar.
untuk Indonesia tanpa nggak pakai lama. Cek
Khususnya
mutasi
belajar
sampai
ketika
12 bulan
karya adalah
bisa
penggalan
dengan
pemuda
Permata
yang
Mobile
bijak.
X. Ratusan
Kadang
fitur dalam
berbagi.
satu
Mama
aplikasi
ngajarin
untuk
saya
Indonesia
bagaimana
tanpa
mendapat
stres.
inspirasi untuk hasil
Jangan
yang
sampai
lebih
ada
maksimal,
waktu terbuang
tetap
saat mengatur
bermanfaat.
uang.
Dan bagi saya, aku
Bayangin
ingin
kalau
buku
kita
ini
bisa
bukan cuma inspirasi anak-anak,
intip saldo
tapi
tanpa harus
juga
login,
para orang tua.
tanpa ngetik, lihat semua akun di satu layar, kirim uang ke nomor handphone, transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja. Buka tabungan, kartu kredit dan pinjaman, transfer dan kirim resi nggak pakai lama. Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan
Buat
Permata
keluarga
Mobile
kami,
X. Ratusan
Raffi
fitur
itu
dalam satu
sarana buat
aplikasi
belajar.
untuk Indonesia tanpa nggak pakai lama. Cek
Khususnya
mutasi
belajar
sampai
ketika
12 bulan
karya adalah
bisa
penggalan
dengan
pemuda
Permata
yang
Mobile
bijak.
X. Ratusan
Kadang
fitur dalam
berbagi.
satu
Mama
aplikasi
ngajarin
untuk
saya
Indonesia
bagaimana
tanpa
mendapat
stres.
inspirasi untuk hasil
Jangan
yang
sampai
lebih
ada
maksimal,
waktu terbuang
tetap
saat
bermanfaat.
mengatur uang.
Dan bagi saya, aku
Bayangin
ingin
kalau
buku
kita
ini
bisa
bukan cuma inspirasi anak-anak,
intip saldo tanpa
hari-hariku
harus
bersama
login,
si kecil dipenuhi dengan
tanpa
kejutan
ngetik,
bahagia
lihat semua
darinya.
akun di satu layar.
Ekspresi gemasnya tak
Kirim
pernah
uang ke
berhenti
nomor
membuatku
handphone, transaksi
tersenyum.
reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja. Buka
Untuk
tabungan,
itu,
kartu
ku
kredit
berikan
dan
yang
pinjaman,
diperlukan
transfer dan kirim
sesuai
resi
kebutuhan
nggak pakai lama.
dasarnya.
Cek mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X.
Pigeon Baby Toiletries dilengkapi bahan hypoallergenic, halal, 0% coloring agent, dan pH balance. Pigeon, only love can make it love.
Untuk Indonesia tanpa stres.
Untuk hasil
Jangan
yang
sampai ada
lebih
waktu terbuang saat mengatur uang.
Dan bagi saya,
Bayangin
ini
kalau kita
buku
bisa
bukan cuma inspirasi anak-anak.
intip saldo tanpa
Hari-hariku
harus
bersama si kecil dipenuhi dengan kejutan bahagia darinya.
satu layar.
Ekspresi gemasnya tak pernah berhenti membuatku tersenyum.
Transaksi reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja.
Untuk itu, ku berikan yang diperlukan sesuai kebutuhan dasarnya.
Mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X.
Pigeon Baby Toiletries dilengkapi bahan hypoallergenic, halal, 0% coloring agent, dan pH balance. Pigeon, only love can make it love.
Untuk Indonesia tanpa stres. Jangan sampai ada waktu terbuang.
Ekspresi gemasnya tak pernah berhenti membuatku tersenyum.
Reksadana dan obligasi kapan saja.
Untuk itu, ku berikan yang diperlukan sesuai kebutuhan dasarnya.
Mutasi sampai 12 bulan bisa dengan Permata Mobile X.
Pigeon Baby Toiletries dilengkapi bahan hypoallergenic, halal,